You'll notice he no longer suffers delusions of humanity.
Affirmative.
What's up now, you punk chick?
Has editing your content become a burden, or you just don't have the skill set?
I wish I could focus on content production, but post-editing takes so much time and effort.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
We'll look no further. Here at Asylum 99 Studios, I can help you create professional quality videos that will be sure to captivate viewers. With my creativity and skill, along with your content, assets, and ideas, I can bring your vision into the simulation. I offer the following services: video clipping and organization, content creation, VFX, SFX, and motion graphics, intro and outro assets. Requests may be taken upon further discussion. So if you're a content creator, short on time because you're out living your best life, or you wish you could focus all your energy into producing content, reach out to Asylum 99 Studios today.
What are you waiting for?
What am I waiting for? What am I waiting for?
Don't settle for mediocre videos. Hire me as your freelance video editor and create videos that meet your standards. Asylum 99 Studios. Release your creativity.
Welcome back, tribe. What I got for you this time? If you've been here since the channel started, my first video was about
Death Panel.
and we're here to talk about
Death Panel.
once again because we got a case of it. So our subject is going to be taking place in Canada, really worldwide, but the victim is from Canada, who this happened to. We're going to hear her story. You know how I do. I'm going to just jump in and out, let the video play. So without further ado, I ain't going to hold y'all. I don't know how much of this stuff I'm going to have to keep showing y'all until y'all snap out of it and realize what position we're all in. So let's get to it.
Kayla Pollock was one of millions coerced and deceived into getting the deadly COVID shots when they were mandated in 2021.
Could you tell us why you decided to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
Basically, a lot of it had to do with the things I was hearing on TV. So there was a lot of fear just being screamed at me by not just the TV, but also, like, you know, when you hear like the WHO is on TV telling you that this is like a deadly pandemic and, you know, people with immune disorders are gonna, you know, die from COVID-19 more likely than other people. You know, I was hearing about that, and my dad was dying in long-term care at the time. In order to go see him, I needed the shots. In order to go to work, I needed the shots.
Now, I don't want to sound insensitive to the lady, right? So I'm gonna speak to the masses at large because she's just one of millions, if not a couple billion, right? That was subjected to the public MK Ultra, because that's really what we're dealing with. You know what I mean? You want to get the bot herd, usually I say herd, the bot herd to move. You got to traumatize them. You got to scare them, right? Because the vast majority of humanity is not going to willingly fight, right? Those who are willingly going to resist the fight are small in number. You know, we could go back and forth all day as to why that is, because I don't believe that was always the case. I believe we had a little bit more fight. Scratch that. A lot more fighterness back in the past, right? But that's because we were more connected to nature. You being in those cities is like being in a mouse cage on the table in a laboratory. That's literally what cities are. Macrocosm, microcosm. That's literally what a city is, a test bed. For example, Flint, Michigan. The water. It's not the only place, but like the most notable place in recent history was Flint. I don't even know if they got their pipes fixed yet to come speak about it, but you gotta scare them, as we all saw, so I don't have to really go into that. Y'all saw the commercials, y'all saw the pressure from the stores that you shopped at, you know. But this time around, you need to reach deep down inside your chest and pull your heart out. Because make no mistake, it's coming again.
A week after receiving the Moderna booster shot, she fell to the floor and was paralyzed for 30 minutes. Another episode happened a week later, and shortly after that, she became paralyzed from the neck down. The first doctor told her that this was something that often happens to people when they're upset, and that it was all in her head.
He told me that this was something that often happens to people when they're upset, and that this was in my head. And the good news was that I would get better because I was essentially having an episode that was some sort of psychotic episode. I asked him when I would get better, and he said, you know, it's up to you, really.
Delusions, Mr. Wordsworth. Delusions.
The number one takeaway that everybody should have had after the scamdemic was not to trust the people you held in authority up until that point. There should be no reason anyone is trusting these people in anything that they say. Across the board, if they're claiming to be an authority figure, you should be rebelling against anything they tell us. You should not be cooperating with psychopathic murderers, quite frankly, deleters, with your life. You should not be trusting them. Look at that. They gaslit the poor lady after all the propaganda blasted in her face. Her heart rate's up. She doesn't know what to do. She's frantic. Her normal life has been interrupted. And all the bot herd cares about is getting back to normal. Even though Klaus told you that there's a new normal and we're not going back to the old normal.
Logic is an enemy and truth is a menace.
Get some heart about y'all, man. Let's continue.
A second doctor was honest with her, but had to keep it hidden.
The second diagnosis, a doctor came to me and he whispered in my ear and he said, I think there's something seriously wrong with you. I do not think you're faking. He said, I have a neurologist or a radiologist who's willing to read your report at home. If you go into the scanner right now, I can get that done.
They found a massive lesion on her spine, and the doctor told her it was most likely caused by the vaccine, and that he's seen many cases just like it.
Most likely it's going to be, probably, if I'm using my gut impression here, from the vaccine.
So other people have had it?
Many people have had it. Many?
I can attest to many, many people having the vaccine. If you've been a sub of my channel while you've seen my older videos, I've shared before that when I was living in Vegas, I lived across the street from the convention center. What they were doing the testing and the vaccinating. I was at home. I was doing school from home, online. So I had nothing but time when I went outside from a smoke break. I would stand at the gate and watch people lined up around the convention center, pulling their cars in and out, people going in there all day long. Many, many of the bot herd, I watched them day after day. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, these people are doing this for what? Like I just previously said, they're trying to get back to normal. They're trying to go along to get along. And that is not the way you move along in life. As y'all learning, it's a great hindrance to you. Let's continue.
Kayla spent several months in the hospital's rehabilitation center, where the staff offered her medical-assisted suicide on 2 occasions.
What's that called? Tell him, Billy.
Death panel.
Which is the only assistance the medical system seems to offer.
Rehab didn't do a whole lot. When I was sent home from rehab, I was told that I'd be getting a lot of personal support hours, and I got home from rehab, and for 4 days straight, nobody came.
Now, what I want y'all to understand, if y'all don't understand anything else that I'm saying, everybody seems to believe the Kafabi, right? That it's just a random outbreak. Y'all want to believe that so bad so that you can continue to sit on your ass. I'm here to tell you today, these people want to delete y'all from the face of the so-called earth. Okay? They don't got your best interest in mind. They don't care about you. They barely care about each other. They don't want you here. They want you gone. Don't listen to what they tell you to do. We need to stop living the way they tell us to live and get back to the old ways. I know people say the old ways ain't coming back. It ain't coming back because people don't want to bring it back because people are lazy and cowardly. Let's continue.
Story is disturbing to you, then it means you still have a heart and your human soul has managed to survive these dark days. The trauma has been too much for many who have disassociated into cold indifference and fail to fully recognize the crimes that are being committed against all of humanity. Celia Farber wrote that what has happened and is happening is by far the worst crime ever committed, worse than the atomic bombs and all wars combined.
And I will second that statement. We need a word that's greater than genocide. This is more than just genocide. This is extermination. Terminator style. Well, they ain't released the robot shit, so not Terminator style. But basically zombie apocalypse style. Plague style.
We all struggle to fight off the feeling that in some way we have already died. And the daily challenge is not to disassociate, but to bear witness. Since every person still alive now is either a victim of the shots or a witness.
I'm a witness.
And we should be prepared for these criminals to try this again. The mainstream media is now talking about strange cases of the measles.
The highly infectious measles virus is spreading across more of the country, including in Florida, where a concerning outbreak is growing. And the latest CDC data shows more than 30 cases nationwide this year across more than a dozen states.
Is there something about this year that is making people more vulnerable to the measles right now?
Yeah, it's a combination of people not getting their vaccines on schedule during the pandemic and then just not necessarily getting to the doctor's office.
And you can go to hell. Now, I know not all nurses are bad. Shout out to the sisters in the tribe that are nurses. Sista Sue, you know. But I know all nurses ain't bad, so if this don't apply to you, don't take what I'm getting ready to say personally. They are the maidens of death. You understand? Y'all remember that all that dancing that they did on TikTok and Instagram when they was injecting people in them empty hospitals that they told you were full, and that these nurses were working night and day to save your lives, yet they had time to shake their ass on the talk, or excuse me, on the gram and the TikTok. What's wrong with you people, man? Learn to recognize your enemy. You need to learn how to identify the enemy. The wolves in sheep's clothing, because a lot of y'all some sheeps. I ain't calling everybody some sheeps, but if you a sheep, you a sheep. And we know it by the way that you express yourself when you open your mouth. So there you got it, Kim folks. Death panels are in full effect. Okay? It's only a matter of time before you see that down here. Knowing our so-called fake-ass government. I've heard RedWolf not equate, make the connection that the Black Mirror are our devices. Now, are you going to be bent by that power, or are you going to harness that power and use that power to help others? Right? Are you conscious when you're looking into the Black Mirror? Or is your mouth open with drool rolling down? Are you thinking? Are you noticing the little subliminal messages that they're putting in and they're slipping in there? Because that's what defeated a lot of y'all, as y'all saw with the young lady. That's what defeated her. The barrage from the MK Ultra experiment that they run on us all day long. As long as that Black Mirror's on, they're trying to run it on you unless you're doing something independent of the propaganda. You're battling it. And now that you know, because once you see this video, you can't say that you don't know. So now that you know, you need to strengthen yourself for the next battle, which is whatever you're probably going to be watching after this. But the real battle, when they come back through here with their propaganda, trying to scare you into submission. And to submit in this fight, Kim folks, is to die. You'll never get me on a death panel. You're going to have it out with me right then and there. So with that said, like, share, subscribe, and I'm going to catch you on the next one.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy. So say good night to the bad guy. Come on.
I am a human being. I exist.
Delusions, Mr. Wordsworth. Delusions.
Send the word.